LimeVibe, come let me lime, come let me vibe. LimeVibe, come let me lime, come let me vibe. LimeVibe, LimeVibe.
Good night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yori Araman Kemp, the host with the most, along with my beautiful co-host, Miss Kimberly Ramcalawan from Trinidad and Tobago. How are you, Kimberly?
I'm doing all right. It's rainy today in Trinidad. It's been rainy yesterday and today, so it's a bit chilly for me. And it's very windy as well because we had strong gusty winds on Sunday and Saturday. So a lot of the leaves from our trees came down. I was just afraid of losing my mangoes because the mangoes
Oh.
on. I don't want to lose my mangoes.
Yeah, they're important, man. They're important. I have a cute story about my mangoes. But I'll tell it to you later on in the show. But it's raining here as well too, Kim. It's raining all over the Caribbean, I think. We had rain from Sunday evening as well. And it rained it rained all day actually. And it just up. Yeah. I couldn't get up for my morning run this morning because it was raining. So I had to go to the gym and use the treadmill, actually the Stairmaster. So I ran the Stairmaster this morning, but I don't mind though. I don't mind.
I mean, this weather is unlikely during this time of year because it's March, so crop season. So usually we get this type of rain in April. We usually call it April showers.
Yes.
So for it to come down in March, we're wondering what's happening with the weather. If it means that our rainy season is going to start a bit earlier. So it's not normal for us to have this much rain in the middle of March. We're usually inundated with the Saharan dust. They said that we're going to get a good plume of Saharan dust from tonight. So all the asthmatics have to be careful, you know?
Yeah. You know, Trinidad is the only country that talks about the Saharan dust. I don't hear about the Saharan dust about any other Caribbean country.
Barbados has it as well. I guess I'm not sure if it's because we're the lowest, but Barbados talks about it as well. It affects us. Actually, my friend in Antigua and Barbuda, she talks about it as well because they have it. She attributed it to her sinus infection last year.
So what normally happens when Saharan dust comes in? You see like a big plume of dust. Pardon my ignorance.
It's very hazy. So it's literally dust particles suspended in the air.
Really?
I mean, if you just watch outside your window, it was so bad some time ago that when you look outside your window, all you're seeing is dust even covering your neighbor's house. You can barely see. Okay, the only way I could describe it is it's very, if you were to have like, it's smoky. If you have bushfires, how smoky and hazy the place looks.
Oh, that bad?
It looks like that. But here's what. Right now it's the dry season. So we actually have the bushfires, which is very smoky. That contributes to people with respiratory illnesses. And we also have the Saharan dust suspended in the air, in the atmosphere.
I got you.
So
Wow.
it's really bad. And you're advised to keep your inhalers on hand and things like that.
Yes. Well, I stay with my inhaler, so I'm ready for the Saharan dust if it comes over. But I've heard all kinds of story about the Saharan dust, that it was sent by the Africans as a form of witchcraft towards the New World, but for taking all the slaves. I've heard all kind of crazy stories about how the Saharan dust comes about, and that by far was the most craziest one, where they said that the African witch doctors send the dust over as a sin to the Western world for stealing all the Black Africans and Black slaves. I said, wow.
We have a saying in Trinidad. I'm not going to say it on air here. It's pretty horrible. But it's amazing that the Saharan dust travels that far. It reaches all the way to Florida and even parts of Europe.
Yes. Wow, Europe.
Yeah.
So it was north and south and east and west.
Yeah, I'm hearing that people in Europe, parts of England, I think Spain even gets it. So, I mean, if you look up your research, you would see it.
Saharan dust. I only heard the dark stories about the funny offhand stories about the witchcraft and stuff like that. So I haven't done a full in-depth exploration into the Saharan dust, and I will after the show. But right now, I'm content with my witch doctor angle. I'm content with that.
But I mean, when they analyze the size of the particles, it's like tiny quartz.
Mm,
It's the farmers consider it rich in minerals,
mm,
so it adds that layer of minerals coming across stars.
mm.
But in the same sense, no one wants to be inhaling that on a daily basis.
No.
It can last all the way till probably September. We get it all throughout the year actually. Hopefully we get a break like during December. You get the most of a little ease up on it, but it's still there.
Mm.
And then the bushfires, it's very prevalent. Right now, if you look at our hills and surrounding plains, it's there's no foliage, there's no trees, it's all bare, it's dry.
And Saharan dust cause that.
Bushfires, it's been so hot. I think it's been so dry. We haven't had rain in such a long time. And because of no rain, the soil is dry. And when the heat comes down, the sun rays, if there's a broken glass bottle, if someone shoots out a cigarette, it's so dry, it's easier for it to catch a light, causing while spreading wildfires, bushfires.
Hey, I don't mean to take memes seriously, right? But I saw a meme on Facebook today, and it said that scientists tried, like flicking a cigarette on a pool of gasoline to light the gasoline a fire. So that doesn't work. So you could flick a lit cigarette on a pool of gasoline and it would not light a fire. I said, wow, why would you even try that? Why would you even do that? Say it doesn't work.
That is misinformation because I've been witness to seeing that happen.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Really?
So I mean, why would they put up those no smoking things at gas stations?
Petrol stations, right? Yeah, that's why I understood. That's what, like, why would they put it there if it doesn't happen, right? So it's
that's an example of false information out there.
False meme. See, yeah. I get all my information from the internet, so from Facebook. So that's my problem. I get all of my information from Facebook. Facebook comments, really.
That's a scary thing because it's provoking stupid people, to beg my language there.
No worries, man.
It's provoking.
Yeah, I know I'm limited. I know I depend on Facebook comments, my information.
Because and then people on our highways, they smoke in their vehicles, they throw out their cigarettes, and now for now you can actually see that catch fire to the median, the grass in the median. So that's yeah. It does catch fire. Only stupid people would think otherwise.
Well, excuse me, Kim.
That's irresponsible. That's irresponsible, and it reminds me of.
It was on Facebook. It had to be true. It was on Facebook, Kim. It was on Facebook.
If it's on Facebook, it's true. Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Oh my goodness.
It's like those Tide Pods, that children were ingesting.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Stupidity.
We gotta pray for our kids, When we were younger, did we do that, Kim? I remember eating Tide Pods, man. And back we still had grass, we still had marijuana. We didn't have Tide Pods, man. We weren't doing that. We weren't even doing prescription pills. As
a school experiment, when we were probably 8 or 9, we often went out as a classroom to use the magnifying glass to show the sun rays, and it would actually light a fire on the piece of paper because the sun rays came down. You actually burn the hole into the paper, right?
We've done that too, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a school experiment, and I think it intrigued us. And if you wanted to start a fire through camping, I mean, we went to brownies and scouts and things like that. We were learning to tie rope, and we were busy pretending to play Xena, the warrior princess, and things like that. Busy climbing trees and probably hoping we don't break an arm or leg, trying to probably pick some fruit, mango, plums, things like that. Yeah, that was our childhood. What are today's children? They're bored, so they're following the internet. Yes. They are trapped inside. They can't go outside. Parents aren't home to monitor their children outdoors, and they're busy going to the laundry and okay, let's try this.
Yeah. All they do is they watch memes and pervert their minds like me, and have their minds perverted like me. So yeah, that Tide Pod challenge, man, that was crazy, Kim. Why would our babies do that? Why would they do that? You know, you know, like I said, back in our day, we had marijuana, we had cocaine, of course, right? But people weren't really using cocaine like that when I was growing up. That was already a past fad. That was back in the 80s when before they knew what cocaine was and everyone based out. I was talking to my uncle who lived through the cocaine 80s. He said, Yuri, say if we knew what cocaine was, you think we would have been doing it? Because everyone was doing it back then. Everyone was, if we would have known that it would have put you on the streets like how they were putting these Joneses and these crackheads on the streets, you think we would have tried it? And he said no. So we didn't know what we were doing back then. So that's how everyone got hooked on cocaine and crack.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with, standing in the streets. We were at home, and my family would say, "Oh, be careful of that person. He's a cokehead." Like,
Yeah.
Oh, they take drugs, and he got addicted and so on. So yeah, I mean, I had them on my street. Yeah, it was marijuana and stuff, but children weren't near those things to access it.
Yeah.
Our childhood was very much more protected and innocent. Watching television shows, watching Smurfs, watching He-Man. I wasn't allowed to watch He-Man, but
why you weren't allowed to watch He-Man?
I don't know. They didn't think it was appropriate for me.
He-Man?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole Christianity topic by itself. I'm not going to go in there.
That's a funny topic. Okay.
Yeah.
He-Man.
So,
I would love to hear that though, Kim. Why you couldn't watch He-Man?
That was the whole indoctrination, with churches and things with certain cartoons. They have it today too, but we were watching cartoons and going outside and playing, had your swing set, you had your hammocks, and that's what we did as children.
Yeah.
And today they don't know the joy and innocence of doing those things. They think grandpa and grandma are boring and old and foggy. No, I mean, I had plenty of adventures with my grandfather. We're riding bicycles. Did y'all do that? We ride bike all over
I admit, I cannot ride a bicycle. I tried several times. I just can't balance. I just can't stay on the bicycle.
Carbon childhood here, we rode bikes. We ride bikes in the village. Even for girls, it was fun. Got chased by dogs. I got bitten by a dog too.
How much time you got bitten?
Like twice.
Twice? Yeah, same here.
This little pumphead latched onto my ankle and he refused.
What you call him? A pumphead?
A pump. It's a breed of dog.
A pumphead. Wow.
It's like a small breed, little Shih Tzu something.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, they're vicious, man.
And it grabbed on, latched onto my ankle and refused to let go. And I was speeding.
You could him though.
I couldn't shake him off. He
So
latched on. And his owner was just like, help me out, watching him driving. Like, you're not going to do something. Get your dog off my ankle. Yes, that was my childhood. And I think we need to return our children to those activities and explore the outdoors. They're missing out so much, and getting active, and getting their imagination going in that way.
Yes. That's why many of them are obese now, They can't get out their own way. They're too fat because they sit at home all day and they sit in class all day. They don't get out and have any activities, and it's killing American sports too.
Yeah.
The next generation of athletes in the United States is going to be really, really poor, man. And that's where they're losing all these international competitions because their kids sit at home. And these kids are staying at home,
No, well, I think what's wrong too is that even if they are involved, and I've seen it here in Trinidad, that if you are involved in an extracurricular activity, that's all it is. It's an extracurricular activity. It's part of the school syllabus. It's part of the school program. It's just something for you to do. Your parents feel burdened that they have to be there with you and take you along to take you swimming, take you to play, join this club and join that. Back then, it was all, integral into the schooling thing that, hey, this is what children want to do, You incorporated it as something cool. They're doing it for extra points.
Yes.
And that's the whole, the whole premise of them getting them to do it. It's not really even a necessity. And we're losing that even when it comes to arts and craft. our society in the Caribbean is an academic strict environment. That's why you would see it's very competitive when it comes to the CAPE, CXE, GC exams.
Yes.
And they're focused on that they've, lost interest in even doing arts and craft. The parents look down on these things. They look down on doing arts and craft. It's like, that's not going to get you anywhere in life. Why are you even doing that? But it relaxes a part of the brain. It helps you to focus elsewhere.
Exactly. And you said right there, Kim, is not really well, it should be aimed towards you having some meaningful employment, but some things are just for your relaxation, something to broaden your cultural horizons. And that's what art is for. And that's what social sciences is for. You know something? If I had a half a brain, well, I don't run the school. I didn't have a half a brain back then, but I'd say if I could do it over, I'd probably do all of my BGCSEs as social sciences, whether it's economics, social studies, geography, so I could just get through with it, because they pushed me into the sciences, the hard sciences, and I were in hard sciences, and I wasn't really that good at it, I was just in the class, but I got the rigor from it, but I didn't really do well in my BGCSEs, my final exams in high school, because I was in the wrong field. If I would have known that social studies or the business field was there and as an option for me, I would have done that. But I stuck with the hard sciences from when I got in grade 7. I just stuck with it straight through because no one advised me that these were the other options out here. And that's what's wrong with our kids now. They don't have the options, They just need to know that there's options out there. Because physics has nothing to do with economics, has nothing to do with law, nothing whatsoever.
No, I mean, I am also a science student. I did pure chemistry. I did physics, I did biology, I did geography, I did the sciences, right? But I did not have a business background, economics. I did not do any history. And it's after, choosing my majors to go into journalism and communications.
Yes.
To be baptized into some kind of history and sociology. And psychology as well,
Yeah.
We have a little bit of biology that I was kind of aware of. But I would think I always advise anyone, do your sciences, right? You can always catch up, I think, with the business and the history, I think. That's me. I mean, I wouldn't change it for a thing. It really helps me. I have an understanding of engineering because I really wanted to become an engineer back then. I have an appreciation for coverage of the energy sector here in Trinidad, and that's big in our economy. I have an understanding of the technical terms when it comes to companies and things like that. So I won't change it, but it's just marrying it with the business and economic sector and having a grasp for that along with history and culture.
I'm just fantasizing now, seeing you as an engineer in the field on an oil rig. Miss Kimberly on an oil rig and our hard boots.
I actually have a picture with hard boots and the coveralls and helmets and everything. Because as journalists, we got a crash course in covering the energy sector, particularly the liquid natural gas sector, LNG. So they actually had a crash course on it, and they just put on the gear to get a tour of the facility.
You think you can handle that lifestyle though? Working in the energy sector, it looked attractive, but you really think you could really stick with that? Look back and
I mean, 20 years ago, if I had, settled down with my frame of mind to get into it, yes, certainly. Because I grew up with uncles, my dad, and now my husband. They're in the field. My dad, he was a plant operator and he worked the shift system. And so was my uncle. He was a chemical engineer. And I grew up with them working on plants, and I kind of understood the jargon, listening to them talk. And I was surrounded by it because it's a field here in Trinidad. Almost everyone, they're involved in the energy sector in such a way.
Yeah.
Technician, engineer, something of that sort.
It's just like tourism here. Everyone's a part of the tourism brand here in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Everyone is a tourism ambassador. I guess like with you guys, everyone's a part of the energy sector some way, somehow. Either you're feeding them or you're providing parts or you're working on it, Yeah. It's just some way that the energy sector, you're involved in the energy sector in some way, somehow.
But it's dwindling. So we have to, diversify.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to look into farming, but then we have the whole issue of pre-deal larceny. So that's another story.
Yeah, that's another story for another day. But everyone talked about farming though, but no one really makes any serious efforts towards it. This is the first time I've seen the Caribbean really get involved with agriculture the way they should have done about 50 years ago. Really take a real serious look at agriculture. And you have to thank the president of Guyana, isn't it right? Dr. Irfan Ali. You know, he's really been pushing the agricultural sector.
Last week, Trinidad received about 5,000 coconut plants from Guyana. And it came on a shipment, and the Ministry of Agriculture promoted it here in Trinidad and Tobago. So they're going to, it's supposed to kind of reinvigorate our coconut sector. Our coconut sector, we were heavy in it back in the 70s and coming into the 80s. We had the Coconut Growers Association. They make the margarines, the butters. They use the oils and to do those things, right? But we've resorted to having to import the raw goods and material. But
That grew wild in Trinidad.
it grew. I mean, our whole eastern coast was full of coconut plantations, right? If you just go onto our east coast, where that's the beaches on where the Atlantic Ocean is, there were a lot of coconut trees plantation. All you can see is coconut trees. But they're bringing it back. What had happened was that a particular bacteria, fungus, attacked the crops, and it caused our crops to dwindle. There's some theories behind it that after the British left, you know, I don't know if they read something like had released this kind of this bacteria, something that attacked the plants of it, right?
Well, do you think of sabotage? Really?
No, because the University of West Indies, their agriculture sector, they brought people from India. They brought people, research officers to come and study it, and they were talking about it. So, this is what I heard at listening in on seminars and things like that. So the root cause of the bacteria, they've been tracing it, and you know, when it comes to the family of it, the hereditary of it, and things like that. So I'm hoping that if they're going to invest this much coconuts in our land once again, that we have this grade of coconut is able to withstand whatever we have in our soil and what have you.
Withstand the pests.
Yeah.
Hopefully it would, man. You know, that's unfortunate. You know, that's really unfortunate, man.
We had a thriving cocoa industry and coffee industry. It's now coming back to the fore. They're trying to push it with the EU once again.
I love how Jamaicans kept their coffee empire going. You know, Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee, they really preserved that, haven't they?
Yes, they have. I mean, when you think of coffee in the Caribbean, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes. Blue Mountain Coffee from Jamaica. Yes, indeed, it's an iconic brand. You know. Yeah.
We have the Trinitario cocoa, and that is, I think, heavily used by Cadbury in England.
Really?
So they use our cocoa for making their chocolates. It is widely sought after for the quality. And honestly, I tasted it, and it's very rich. To me, it has this very, very rich flavor. The note of it is it has this little alcoholic note to it, rummy kind of taste that reminds me of it. And you taste that when you taste it. When you eat a bite into a Cadbury that comes from England, not America. So even your cousins from the States, when they come to Trinidad, they want the Cadbury cocoa that we get, because we get it directly from England. What they get is what is passed on to them, and Hershey's tries to mix it up and rebrand it.
Yeah. So Trinidadian cocoa, okay.
It's called the Trinitario cocoa. So when you see that, you know it's from our shores.
So it's all branded and everything too, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. Hopefully you guys can revive that, you know, and give Jamaica a run for their money.
The cocoa industry, the coffee industry, I'm not too sure. I think we're getting back there right now. I would like to see that happen. But I know one of my friends, she actually sent me some pictures of the coffee beans in her plantation in South Trinidad. and she absolutely roasted it and ground it, and I'm yet to guess. I told her I need to get a sample of that.
Oh Lord Jesus, that'd be interesting. Yeah,
Strong,
man.
I like my strong coffee. You know, I'm sure it's much better than the Arabica.
Yeah, the Arabica. Yeah. I used to be a coffee connoisseur, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore because I got rid of it like about 4 years ago. Yeah, I got a coffee about 4 years ago. And so I haven't drank one cup in about 4 years. My doctor said it's too much caffeine for me. And
I love my coffee.
I know. And you seem up and how much cups of coffee you have tonight?
I know I only had one this morning. I haven't had any this evening.
Okay.
I didn't have chance to have a cup of tea or anything to pick me up this evening.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you just came straight to your show. Thank God you take our show seriously, Kim. You respect it with all your heart and your fiber. That's good. Yeah.
Despite being so rainy and cold and damp here.
Yeah. It's gonna perk up though. It doesn't last long, and these rain showers they happen for about what, a day or two, then they go and they come back. It's gonna be like this for the next 3 or 4 months, man. I assume, you know.
I guess, I mean, rainy season usually comes around in June for us. Yeah, when hurricane season starts. But if it's coming early, we should anticipate our April showers, and you may get some coming in May, depending on how early the rainy season starts. Last year it started early, I think. We had showers in May.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. I notice every time the weather changes here, it starts to rain. Like especially with me transitioning from winter to spring, it always rains. It always brings that winter rain, that spring rain. You know, it just starts to rain. It's just as soon as the winter season is over, the rain starts to come.
Okay. I mean, we
Yeah.
anticipated more. I mean, I would think I always thought that spring really started more ending March, April.
Well, it's climate change now, baby. You know, things are changing up, and the atmosphere is changing. Yeah. You know something? I'm still every time I talk about climate change and weather patterns, I'm thinking of whether or not this is not just the regular occurrence of the Earth, just making its regular axis spin and just doing its regular thing, or are we really contributing as much to climate change as they say that we are? You know, and I think that we are, but I also think that it's just the regular cycle of the life of the Earth. You know, because the Earth has gone through several of these turns before in its history. You know, it's gone through the ice age, it's gone through asteroid impact. So these things happen to the Earth. You know.
Yeah, well, everyone's anticipating that winter is going to change the axis. You know, we're going to see winter in the south.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
and they're going to see, you know, because it's getting hotter and hotter every year in the United States and Europe.
Yes.
So we'll see, I guess. I don't know, 50 years from now.
Maybe if we're still here, God knows what it's going to look like 50 years from now, 100 years from now.
Snow-capped hills in Trinidad. My San Fernando Hill will be covered in snow.
Oh Lord.
But Venezuela has snow here, you know. Venezuela is not too far, and they've got snow on their mountains.
They do?
Yes, they do.
Oh wow. Okay.
I guess it's because of the altitude and how far up.
Okay.
Yeah. We went all over. We didn't talk about what's happening today, you know.
Oh yes. Thank you for bringing us back. You know, we always start off like this, you know. So what's really happening? Apparently, the Trinidad, you guys swear in a new president. Didn't you? A second female president ever.
Female president, yes, and we got our first husband.
How's he doing?
I think he was all smiles and air. I saw him blushing at her speech. She laid out her order of things that she expects him to do by her side. She intends to do as the new president. She wants to open up the president's house to the public a little more and be a little more accessible. The first mandate, she says, you know, I'm not sure how it is by you guys, but when it comes to high profile members such as politicians and the president, including diplomats, they've got their entire entourage, and you've got traffic restrictions when it comes to them on the roads.
Yep.
She said she's going to try to minimize that impact it usually has on the public, the commuting public.
So what she's going to do?
She's going to actually revise the protocols that are associated with the president's office. So that's the first thing that she has on her agenda, and she wants to open up parts of the president's house. Now, the president's house was recently renovated to a tune of a good bit of taxpayers' dollars.
Mm.
She wants, I mean, it's often been seen as a lofty grand palace around our Queen's Park Savannah. And you just see it far off that only the diplomats and only those in high authority are able to visit and partake of.
Wow.
She is hoping to open it up a little more to the public.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I would really look forward to seeing that. She being our second female president too. There was a lot of talk about the former president not being accessible. Yeah. She did not have a reputation as being accessible or even present when things of concern and matter were in the public domain. I mean, usually the president is one that is sympathetic to the public against the politicians. And there was a lot of comments on social media in the public domain as to what's really the president's purpose.
She left on the controversy, didn't she?
What's that?
Paula May Weeks left on the controversy, didn't she?
I wouldn't say the controversy. It was more like, you know, where was she all this time? She was just a seat. She gave the president's, the head of state, that term seat holder, some new meaning. I mean, and everyone they held despise to that. It's like, where's our president? She's a female.
But that's the thing. Those positions have no power, really, right, Kim? I mean, they're just positions of sinecure. They're like the general. So I mean, what do they expect Paula May Weeks to do? What do they expect Christine Kangaloo to do? To be honest with you,
I mean, well, Christine Kangaloo also comes in with not a clean slate in a sort of terms. You know, she's been affiliated deeply with the People's National Movement, the ruling party, PNM.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's in the sense that she retired her position as being the president of the Senate, which is a political position, a political appointed position. And then her in-laws are deeply rooted in the party.
Okay.
They've got positions on state boards and things like that. Contracts.
Why is that a problem?
Because you're supposed to be a neutral person. All of our presidents before, except Ian.R. Robinson, were politically, you know, had some political affiliation, right? And I mean, all of our presidents before did not have any political affiliation. We saw them as being neutral, coming in, being bipartisan, being upstanding, people of upstanding reputations. That I mean, President Carmona, he was an ICC judge. He came into Trinidad, you know, having an understanding of the law. She's a lawyer too, but as to her reputation in that case, she spent most of her career as a politician. Ian.R. Robinson, yes, he was a politician, but he was a lawyer as well. And he started the ICC. He's the reason we have the ICC.
Yes, the International Criminal Court. Yes. They're looking for Putin right now, Vladimir Putin.
Right.
So Trinidad has some history. That's good. Yeah.
So when you look at people, I mean, Nur Hassan, I consider Nur Hassan as being one of our most astute presidents to ever hold the office. And he did not have a bar in the house. He was a Muslim. He was a devout Muslim. And he was always caring, and he made himself available. He was very charitable. He was very heavily involved in charities. And when you see presidents, that's what I mean. The most distant president we ever saw was Paula May Weeks. We did not see her involved much in speaking to the nation. We did not see her involved in much affairs of the country.
Does she have any charities?
I'm not that I know of. You'd hear her pop up ever so often, and people would make memes. It's like, hey, we have a private person. Where she came out from?
That's because like, you know. I keep hearing her name. I never saw her. I just kept hearing her name, Paula May Weeks, but I never actually saw her do anything. And that's really what governor generals and presidents like in Trinidad and Tobago, that's what they do. I mean, they're just positions of sinecure. So I mean, what could she do?
I mean, they have to give signature positions to state boards and state agencies.
Under the advice of the prime minister.
Yes, but you can also reject it, and you also have to ensure that, there's a proper balance. When you look at the percentages of those that are appointed, they're also responsible for independent senators.
Now tell the truth now, Kim. No one really rejects the prime minister's advice. No one-
Yes, I mean, we know that. We
Mhm,
know that.
mhm,
But you can also make some suggestions.
mhm.
And I mean, obviously they've called her, she's just another rubber stamp because she just has to stamp of approval,
He's gone.
right? So it's been said and it's been called that way. I
He's
mean,
gone now, though. So I mean, that's half
yeah,
how big he's gone.
I hope to see her prove herself otherwise. Honestly, I'm giving you your room to go, and it's like you do it, and I hope you do it fairly and impartially.
But
I
she's
can
gone now. She's gone now, Kim. So what could you do now? She's gone. You guys run the lady out of town. You said she wasn't doing anything, you know. Now you have your Christine Kangaloo. Now you're still mad.
no
Um,
what I'm talking about. Yeah, she's now going to be there. I can only hope for Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo that she does a good job, an impartial job. She represents
yeah,
all the people in Trinidad and Tobago fairly,
yes.
justly.
And she will. And she will, you know, because they understand what their job is. She will, she will do her best to be impartial and to be fair. Even though she's going to go under the prime minister's advice, let's at least let her say some words of encouragement when things start to go bad in Trinidad,
I mean,
people.
in my experience with presidents,
Mhm,
yes, they usually make these eloquent speeches. They're
mhm,
invited to make these speeches at certain events. They're required to say certain things.
mhm,
But even though they're politically appointed, I've seen most of them usually vocal in times of need. They
mhm.
would say something against the current administration. What you're doing is wrong. Or, you're not supposed. They wouldn't say it in so much, but they would put it eloquently in these terms and bring it across to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And us reporters would catch on, hey, they're really putting a dig at, throwing a dig at this one. And we
Uh,
put it there, and then people will say, yeah, that's true.
mm,
So you listen to their speeches, they usually come out on Independence Day and Republic Day. That's the annual time you see them, their annual speech.
yes, yes, yes. You guys
Read,
have the speech from the throne?
what's that?
Oh, you guys don't have the speech from the throne anymore, right? Because you guys are independent now. You guys
No, no,
have
no.
you have the
We have
president.
the president's speech, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, we used to hear the Queen's message for Christmas and things like that. That's
You
about
guys
it. The
still
only
get that?
Yeah, we still get, I mean, being part of the Commonwealth, I think every country that's part of the Commonwealth, they would get the message from the Queen.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Commonwealth Christmas message, right?
Yeah. And even on Commonwealth Day just last week, we got a message from His Majesty the King, wishing everybody in the Commonwealth a happy Commonwealth Day, And so
Yeah.
yeah, that's their job, be nice, spread cheer, We're not really asking you to do anything. We're just, make sure that your presence is there, some kind of moral support, at least that,
Yeah.
at least that,
What's your governor general like? I mean,
Pardon?
I've often, I mean, when I followed Bahamian news, I think it was, y'all had a female governor general.
Yeah, she was acting for a while. Yeah, no, they're not acting. She was the former prime minister's wife, Lady Marguerite.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Lady Marguerite Pinley. Yeah, she was the governor general for a while. She's the first female governor general.
Yeah, I always admired how she dressed, very dainty, and
Yes, yes, yeah. She's an elegant woman, man.
I really admired how she dressed and her attire.
Yeah, man. She's an elegant
I
lady.
never really heard her speak too much though.
Yeah, you wasn't missing much. She was
Yeah.
no, so you weren't missing much at all. Her husband was the statesman, not her. Yeah, yeah. But she served their purpose though, and they when the government changed, they summarily just kicked her out, and she was upset. Yeah, she was upset when the FNM won, and they told her to leave government house.
Oh wow.
They made it political, and they brought in their person to be the governor general. So
Was her term up though?
why set him up?
No, was her term up?
No, there's no term in that. You serve at the pleasure of the prime minister. And when they ready to ask you to leave, they'll ask you to leave. They'll ask His Majesty to appoint us another Governor General, and then under that advice, they'll bring in another Governor General.
So there's no term, there's no specified term, because we've got like 4 to 5 years.
No, no, man. There's no specified term. The Governor General is invited on behalf of the governor and the cabinet of the Bahamas to actually be the Governor General. So there's no kind of, oh, we have set it for 5 years and that's it. And then we have to reapply for the 5-year term. No, it doesn't work like that. You serve at the pleasure of the Prime Minister and the cabinet.
Here you've got to serve for the 4 to 5 years. You're allowed another term. Ptolemy Weeks did not get another term, and neither did Carmona.
Wow.
So I mean, the last person to have served 2 terms was George, what's his name? Maxwell Richards.
George Maxwell Richards.
Yeah, he was the former vice chancellor, principal at University St. Augustine campus as well.
Remember George Chambers?
No, well, he was just the prime minister.
Okay. Gotcha.
Over after Williams died. He was not like too much either.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't think he was too bright.
That's what the song was named after, right? Captain, the ship is sinking.
Yeah, it's memorialized in our Calypso archives.
Yeah. Actually, they sung that same song for the 2017 election to get rid of Perry Christie. That's how popular the song. That's how much it resonated with the rest of the Caribbean. Captain, the ship is sinking.
Yeah.
So you guys have made a real imprint across the Caribbean, Kim.
In Trinidad for you, yeah.
Yeah, that's right there. Yeah. So I wish Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo all the best. And she tries to hold on to the position, be the first, well, not the first, but be a lady of some kind of substance in Trinidad, And I guess
so not quite young. I think she's in her 50s, mid-50s. So
okay, she's still vibrant. Okay, she's gonna be there for a while then. You're gonna see Christine Kangaloo for many years to come. Unless Kamala wins and she decides she wants to get rid of Christine Kangaloo.
We'll see. I mean, when parties take over, they don't usually go and kick them out. You have the option. They ask you, okay, when your first term is up, would you like to reapply? If not, if they see it fitting that, okay, we're going to appoint someone else, yeah, they will do that. But with Paula May Weeks, she could have stayed another term, but I don't think it was desired. I'm not sure why, but they decided to put in their own. They don't have any loggerheads when it comes to getting things done. Because part of it, right? Christine Kangaloo was the president of the Senate here in Trinidad. She would have been the next person to be acting president when the president takes leave of absence, having to go to like travel and things like that. So the acting president was our president of our Senate, which was Christine Kangaloo.
Yes.
He was embroiled in this whole controversy that got our central bank governor fired, Joella Rambaran. Signed the papers while the president was gone.
Yeah. I spoke to Rambaran a few times, man. He's a very enlightening mind, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a right for when I was at Caribbean News now. He's a send his op-ed stuff all the time, man.
I mean, from an economics perspective, both of you all have the economist minds. How did you view his thoughts and views to policies and things like that?
He's a very intelligent man. Extremely intelligent, yeah. Makes you wonder why did Trinidad and Tobago have the man sitting on the outside so long, Yeah, he's a different political party, but give him something to do. Give that man something to do, please, because he's a wasted.
Held him back from getting another job outside.
Wow.
Gotten a job, and there was a whole lawsuit against it, which he won. Anyway, not going there, but it just showed the vindictiveness that they employed there. But I admired his thoughts and his policies, the way he viewed things. I line him up with people like Marla Dukran, Justin Ram. They're intellectuals when it comes to economists. They have a fresh perspective on how things are to be viewed and seen,
Yes. And they also have a futuristic mindset where they could see things 10 years down the road,
Yeah.
And they see how things are going to shape up if we don't change now. What's going to happen to you 10 years on the road? That's good. That's a great way of putting that, Kim. That's a great way of putting that.
The other person, I mean, there's Ray Klein, but I think he's from the Cayman Islands, and he's based with Republic Bank Ghana. He
Mm,
too has an interesting perspective when it comes to how we invest our monies and things like that. So I take pride in we have our intellectuals here in the Caribbean.
mm. We don't celebrate them enough, though.
No.
The politicians get the best of it, and that's the real shame. I think that's why this podcast in particular, I don't want to have any politicians whatsoever appear and talk to them as much as we could. Let's avoid them because they get enough press as it is, and they have enough people kissing up behind them. So as much of the platform we could give to regular upstanding people who have nothing to do with politics, want nothing to do with politics, because
Another brilliant mind you always hear me talk about is Professor Avinash Prasad. Now,
yes.
Mr. Motley has been, insightful enough to say, hey, I need this guy on my side.
Mhm.
I know he's appointed as a CARICOM chair when it comes to economic development and things like that.
Yes.
So
yes.
she was insightful enough to bring him on board when it comes to crafting their policies too. So, I mean, it's just a matter of putting them to use to better our government, our
Yes.
governance and our futures.
Yes.
It's a matter of humbling yourself politically and your political ambitions and really going forward to the intellectuals who are or salt of the nation that can really better us. Use
Yeah.
them, utilize them. They're a pool of thought, a school of
Yes.
thought, and
Yes.
that needs to be tapped into.
Yeah, indeed. If we could get all these minds in the one think tank, that would be great, Kim.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Just pool all of their papers and their writings and their speeches and just pool all that in one particular spot. So we can have a depository of information for the rest of the Caribbean for generations to come, man. Because I believe that some of these people are just so far ahead, some of our leaders just haven't caught up to them as yet,
No, at all. They can't see beyond, their own political egos, I think.
Exactly. Well, you said the political egos, you said the right thing, political egos.
Right. And it's really you have to go beyond that.
Mhm.
You have to, that's it. I mean, if you really care about the national development, these are the people that you want on board.
Mhm. Yep. If you're serious about it, though, if you're really serious about it.
If you're not, coming in to thief money and squander things like that. If you really want to see a nation go forward and put in place, policies that would see your country develop, that's where you're going to incorporate.
Exactly. Indeed. But speaking of moving a country forward, I mean, a nation is being held back right now. A nation of minorities in the United States is being held back now because of the Silicon Valley Bank. Have you heard about the story with the Silicon Valley Bank?
I have. I've been trying to follow it and grasp what was the root cause of it, though.
Yeah, analysts are saying now that they just are giving out bad loans to minorities. That's what all the evidence is really pointing to. They gave bad loans out to minorities, of course, with the scapegoat, right? And it's just that the banks started to fall apart. They had bad lending policies and bad business models. And it was just a big bank, but just started to be run horribly by people who just was doing the wrong thing. And that's really where it ended up to, because a lot of minority tech entrepreneurs depended on that bank to lend them money, but no other bank would lend them money to start their startup dreams. Not start to be for the fun, but to start their startup dreams, right? So they weren't getting the money anywhere else. And so the only bank that would lend them money was the Silicon Valley Bank. And those loans were, of course, risky. And so I guess you can imagine a lot of people were losing money on these loans. And then, it started to fall into collapse at the end. That's one of the issues. I don't believe it was all that issue, right? I don't like when they use Black people as a scapegoat. Because remember the subprime crisis back in 2008? They blamed Africans, Americans, and Hispanics for getting all these loans, and they started to turn them upside down, right? And so they blamed us. So I believe it's more than that, man. It's more than just minorities getting loans from the Silicon Valley Bank. There has to be some other root cause. It may not have been a good run bank to begin with. It may have been a failing bank from Jump Street, man.
But they've been around since the 1980s, though. So they've been, to me, that's long enough existence to, be aware of the risk that you take when it comes to investment that you partner with, right?
Yeah, Lehman Brothers was in business for even longer than that. It was one of the oldest banks in the United States. And look what happened to them in the subprime crisis in 2008, They lent out the riskiest loans and they collapsed as a result. And so, hey, age has nothing to do with it. It has to do with who is managing the bank now. and who was managing the bank right then, they did a terrible job because they were lending too much loans to people who couldn't pay the loans back. And people started to think that the bank was risky. And of course, you know, the cryptocurrency scare with FTX all played a factor in that. They wouldn't say it, right? Because they wouldn't spook the market, but that's really what it is. All these assets, these crypto assets, we're really probably behind all of this stuff here too. So let's be calm and careful with that. That's why a lot of traditional banks weren't really jumping at cryptocurrency just yet, you know, or really weren't making it a substantial part of their investment portfolio because it's too risky. Like, what is cryptocurrency? What is cryptocurrency? Nobody knows, you know. Nobody still knows what exactly is cryptocurrency, Kim.
No. But I'm hearing that Silicon Valley Bank was responsible for startups like Airbnb, DoorDash, and Dropbox.
Yep.
So, I mean, if they've got those big companies on their side, I'm not sure what's going to happen with those companies now, their future. We're hearing that there's rumors that Sharon Stone lost half of her money with this whole fallout too.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Americans were hearing that there must have been a bailout by the US government. And a lot of Americans are against it because they're saying that it's unfair to the middle class, the lower class, because this is once again an example of the American government feeding into the capitalist class, and they're prioritizing them, putting them as priority. And so a lot of people saying, so what about the country, the states that are going through a lot of hardship, like Palestine, Ohio, and that's dealing with this whole chemical spill out that's affecting their people. Right? A chemical spill because of the whole train crash. Remember?
Train wreck. Yeah.
So you're not hearing much about that. What are they doing there? And then there's the whole Flint, Michigan chemical thing there.
They haven't solved Flint, Michigan yet either, Kim. You know, that's been going on for years. You know, don't drink the water in Flint.
Right.
At least to say that, you know. But you know, these accidents happen, and I guess because it's really gotten off the media, the airways, because they focus on other stuff. You know, this war in the Ukraine is still raging on. You know, it's still going on, and every now and then you're gonna have a good chunk of the news day just eaten up by what's been happening with the Ukraine war and how it's really affecting everybody else. And that's really what it is. You know, I mean, sad to say, who really cares about a train wreck in Ohio when there's a war going on in the Ukraine, even though it's in your own country? That's really how they see it. You know. If it bleeds, it bleeds. Now, when people start growing like third arms and having a fourth eye in Ohio, then that's going to be news, right? Otherwise than that, it has a chemical spill.
I mean, here's the other thing. I could understand that they're also having some understanding with this whole SVP fallout because it would affect their Federal Reserve, and that also has a trickle-down effect on us. You know, and all central banks, because they follow the Federal Reserves and whatever they advise that you should do with your interest rates and things like that. So the entire world is going to be affected by this bailout of America, where to do it too, and decisions that the Federal Reserve in America takes on.
And they can't do it anymore because they bailed out the bank in 2008, 2009. So they're going to do. They've set the precedent for doing it, and so now these banks who are too big to fail. They're too big to fail now. They have to bail them out.
But, you know, America is already facing high inflation rates. And the Federal Reserve has been battling with that, you know, and, you know, because it's been aggressive interest rate hikes. And what are they going to do to kind of help out the economy? So it's, you know, we wait and see how they bear this, you know, balance this all out.
What can they do, though? What really can they do? What can they do? What can they do besides from just take it up to rare? And there's nothing much they really could do, you know, Kim. Until, you know, the market regulates itself after COVID-19, this is just what it is. I'm just hoping that it doesn't turn into a severe stagflation where prices go up and employment stays low. Because that could be the case, because we're seeing the elements for that right now. You know, where prices just keep going high and people just keep losing their jobs. You know, that could happen. And that is happening. It's not just inflation, it's stagflation. And they don't want to say that stagflation word because they know what that means for economists like myself. They know exactly what that means and what that means for the rest of the world, for the Caribbean. You can imagine if Americans stop working, Kim, that means no more tourists here. You kidding me? We need as many Americans working as much as possible. We need them back on their jobs and hating their jobs. So when they have their vacation, they come to the Bahamas and they have a good trip. Yeah, that's the big one. That's people who take vacation. They hate their jobs. They hate their lives where they are, and so they want to take a trip.
The world is full of so many things happening right now. I mean, how many eyes do we have to have on? We've got one on Russia and Ukraine, which is affecting the oil and gas prices,
Yeah.
and the wheat prices as well, because flour keeps going up here. And then we've got to keep an eye on China, because you don't know what China is doing, and they're trying to take over Taiwan. And we've got our own issues with, filtering down from America.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to keep on juggling, because you catch a flu, they cough and they sneeze, and we catch it here in the Caribbean.
Yep, indeed. That's why I don't put pressure on leaders anymore, because they have to have their eyes on all different angles, on everything. And plus they have to keep their eyes on themselves and cabinet or at the political level. So, let's give them some space to do their work. They're hired for that. They've trained all their lives to do this. So let them do their work. And God has put them there at a time like this to lead us, So let's give them the support.
Yeah. I mean, they always talk about that, the democracy is based on, the vote of people and things like that. Voice of God. They always say that.
Yeah. The voice of God is the voice of the people. I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah, something like that. And we've often used that to our convenience here in Trinidad. And honestly, I see it as like, okay, whatever's happening, it's for a reason, half of the population might not like it, like the way it is, like the way the policies have taken a turn, and how people have managed the economies and the policies, whatever they've implemented. A lot of them have suffered job loss. We had to do a pandemic. I mean, we're still reeling from a pandemic.
Yeah. And some places it's still raging, I didn't realize you guys are still suffering that much from COVID-19. It's still here. It's still here, man.
Nasty flu going on. The flu and the pandemic and COVID. A lot of people are concerned about, okay, they're mistaking the flu, whatever virus they have right now, for COVID. A lot of people are still taking time off. Family, so companies are not taking it for granted, and they're sending you home. Okay, you work from home.
Really?
Yeah.
You're doing okay.
Once you have a sniffle or any flu symptom or a temperature, you're not allowed to enter the workplace.
They're shunning you.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I guess it's good to be on the safe side. Be safe rather than sorry,
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want the COVID-19. From what I see happen, what I've heard happen to people, I don't want anything to do with COVID-19, man. I'm glad that angel of death passed my home. And really, that's what it was, Kim. It was the angel of death. And people were looking at God moving and didn't know that it was God actually speaking to them. That's the thing. And that's what's so scary about this time right now, Kim. They didn't realize that was God speaking. They didn't realize God sent the angel of death.
I don't see it that way. I mean, I've seen families devastated, Christian families devastated. I had one friend, her mother died from cancer. Her mother could not access cancer treatment because she could not go to the nation's hospitals. Yes. And so she died. And then her daughter, not too long after, came and got COVID and died. And she was my age. And I got up a Sunday morning and I saw her funeral ongoing. It's like, I'm thinking this friend of mine is probably playing a prank, to see. But it was, you're seeing a black and white picture of her in a casket.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All funerals are streaming online. You see,
I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was. And
wow.
Like, I did not even know she was this sick and she died.
That's just almost a shock to Kim. I know. It's a shocking thing.
We're in the middle of a serious lockdown too.
I got you. Well, Kim, wouldn't you believe it? There's an hour past just like that, Kim. And we talk about literally nothing. This was a show about nothing again. And I love it like this, I love it when we just chat, because this is what people tune into. They tune into, they may get some information, but they want to really hear us talk and explain what's happening with the day. So, Kim, how do you feel about the day, man? Wrap us up.
We just gave some old talk. Another day in Trinidad here for me as a newscaster. I mean, well, in the bacchanal of the day, we call it bacchanal. And reminisce about our childhood. So
yeah, okay, I got you. Well, you're in good spirits again. I like that though. Hopefully this show rejuvenated you and you feel better. So Here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in again for another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yori Cam. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video on YouTube and like our page on Facebook. It really helps us out a lot. We're still growing. We're getting subscribers coming in every day. So please like and subscribe our video on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much. And this is Yori Cam saying good night from Kimberley, Ram, Calawan, and Trinidad and Tobago. Good night and goodbye.
Night.